Hey guys, it's Julia and welcome back to Juilliard. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these mini jam jars. So to get started, I'm going to be using this pipette. Now you could totally use a clear straw as well, but we just need something that's going to be a clear cylinder to be the base of our jar. So I'm just going to cut that, and you have to make sure that both sides of the cylinder are very straight because you don't want to have a leaning jar when you're done. So now that we have the base of our jar, we're going to be taking some clear tape. You could also use washi tape or anything that you have. I'm just going to be putting some tape on my mat, sticky side up. Then we're going to get our cylinder and press it down firmly onto the tape and so that it seals at the bottom. Then I'm taking my craft resin and I'm going to be putting a very thin layer down at the bottom, making sure that it's sealed around the edges before I use my UV lamp to harden it. Next, I'm going to be using one of these fruit log things that I found at the store. I'm going to be cutting it to be the fruit in my jars, but if you don't have any of these, you could also use little beads or foam beads or something like that that you have laying around. So next I'm going to put some resin inside our little jar, making sure that there's space at the top. Then I'm going to be coloring it. Now I'm making a marmalade type orange jam here, and so I'm adding a little bit of red and yellow and mixing it up with a needle. It's better to add a little bit of color at a time though, because if it's too dark you won't be able to see the fruit inside. So I'm going to be putting in the fruit a little bit at a time, then pushing it down with our needle, and then repeating these steps so that the fruit gets evenly spread out throughout the jar. So once you're happy with that, you can get your UV lamp and harden the resin. Then we're going to take it off of the tape and set that off to the side. Next, we are going to be making the mold for our jam jar lids. So I'm taking this plastic that I found at Dysel. Pretty much you put it in hot water and then it gets very soft and moldable, and then you can press things into it, and then once it hardens you have your own mold that you can reuse. So once it's soft, I'm taking it out of the hot water, I'm pressing it down, and then I'm going to be taking a glue stick because this will be the right size for the lid of our jars. So I'm just pressing this into the mold, and then I'm going to be putting the mold into cold water so that it hardens. And once it's all hardened, you can take it out and just wipe off the water with a tissue or something like that, and then it is ready to use. Now I like this method because you can reuse this mold so many times and make as many jam jars as you want. So again, I'm going to be taking my resin and just putting a small layer at the bottom of the lid. We don't want our lids to be too thick. Then I'm going to bring in my UV lamp again and wait for it to harden. Once that's done, you can loosen the sides of the mold by twisting a little bit, but I like to use an X-Acto knife to kind of lift up the side so that it's easier to grab out. So that is our lid. So now we are going to connect it onto our jar using a little dash of resin. You could totally use some glue here though, but I already had the resin out, so that's what I'm using. So then just place the lid on top and then again bring in your UV lamp to harden it all the way. Next, you can decide if you want a gold or silver lid for your jar. I really like the look of gold, and so I'm going to be using gold today. And I'm just getting some tweezers so I can hold my jar in place while I paint it. You could also use some sticky tack on your table and put your jar on that so that it holds it in place for you. Next off, I printed off some jam labels that I'm going to be using. So of course, since I'm making a marmalade / orange jam, I'm going to be using the label for that. So I'm just going to cut that out, and you could use glue here to attach it, but I'm using some double-sided rolling tape. So I'm just going to roll this onto our label and then get our jar and place it in the middle of our jar and flatten it out. So that is our completed jam jar. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I love how you can use the same idea to make a whole bunch of different things. It doesn't even have to be jam, but you can use this jar idea for a lot of different things. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that you guys liked it. If you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, you can subscribe down below. And if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see me make, please leave them in the comments. Now I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!